here for leading the service or what? Probably. Shot off a few muskets. Rifle range. Yeah. Helicopter ride. Welcome to the campus of Immanuel High School for tonight's regional final match between the Owen-Withee Blackhawks and the Eau Claire Immanuel Lutheran Lancers. Please stand if you are able, remove your hats as the Immanuel Pep Band under the direction of Joel Golrud leads us in the national anthem. Immanuel High School and Owen-Withee High School and the WIAA require good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators at interscholastic events. Please support the players, coaches, and officials in a positive manner. Comments of a sexist, racial, or ethnic nature or other intimidating actions will not be tolerated and are groundless for removal from gymnasium. Please be aware of the possibility of a ball or player entering the bleachers during the competition. Thank you and enjoy the match. And now for our starting lineups, first for Owen-Withee. Senior number 1, Addie Hattelstedt. Sophomore number 4, Tinley Penny. Senior number 5, Kayla Rasmussen. Senior number 6, Maddie Mueller. Senior number 7, Kendall Mueller. Junior number 9, Jocelyn Severide. And the libero, senior number 3, Macy Devine. The Blackhawks are coached by Anna Sarechik and assisted by Morgan Mueller. And now for your Immanuel Lutheran Lancers. Senior number 2, Grace LaDuke. Junior number 3, Gwyneth Gergel. Senior number 4, Leah Thompson. Junior number 5, Emma Starland. Senior number 12, Gabby Radical. And senior number 13, Kenzie Koenig. The Lancers are coached by Joe Lau, assisted by Megan Johnston.
Welcome to today's regional final matchup between the Immanuel Lutheran Lancers and the Owen-Withee Blackhawks. Lancers will start off the serving with Leduc. He sends it into the net. Blackhawks 18-12 on the year, ranked 193 in Wisconsin. Lancers 18-16, ranked 181st in Wisconsin. As they take a 1-0 lead to start, Thompson sets us across for Radical. She'll knock him down and retire early at 1. Larson let her in, and it'll be Thompson back to serve. Dug up in the back. Set up quickly down the line. Tipped high from Starlin off the ceiling and redirected to the floor. Blackhawks taking a 1-point lead, 2-1, with number 1 Halstead heading back to serve. High from Leduc. All the way across. This is going to be for Gurgle. We have to bump it over. Set up center. Good spot. Diving save. Tick back high from Thompson. Radical to the corner. Bump back across. Up center. He'll just tap it over. Duke on the run will get it. Thompson across. Gleaner for Radical. She'll knock us from down. Through the hands of Miller. Bartles and Quaid in for Koenig and Gurgle. And it'll be Bartles back to serve. Safe. Set back, bad angle, have to just tap it over. Good spot, diving save from Larson, can't get underneath. And they go back up by 1, 3-2. Halstead enters in along with Hattlestead. And it'll be Hattlestead back to serve. High from Leduc. Back across for Quaid. Down the line, tip back across. Gonna set one far side on the run, blocked at the net, tip back high for the libero. Back up close to the net, will tap it over. Bartles right there to get it. Back across for Quaid. Tip it for that, libero there, sliding safe, tip back up, and he'll send it to the back corner. Bartles gets it back in the air off the lights. Back up for Quaid, and not gonna make it. Running save from Leduc. Back up center for Radical. Let's just tap it over. Tip back high, running save from the back. And it'll just be tapped over. Diving save from Quaid. Tip back up. Radical gets it over. And Luke there to get on the other end. Back up for Quaid. Off the block, tip back high. Back up far side. Through the hands of Leduc. Rasmussen will get the kill, and they go up by 3. And he will continue to serve for the Blackhawks. Sliding save from Radical. Larson sends one back. And tapped over from Quaid to the corner. Dropping it down. What a spot from Quaid to put the Lancers back within 2. And now Radical back to serve for the Lancers. Down to 5-3. She'll drop down an ace. Off the leg of a running Miller. Radical trying to get this one back even, has a chance to do here, fresh off her first ace. Offensive Miller, this time received on the second pass, will be tapped over center, received by Thompson. Back up center for Quaid, has to hang, just gets it over. Tipping up by Miller, and it'll be tapped to the back by Halstead. Thompson back up for Leduc. High to the ceiling, won't touch. Bump back up far side, will tap it over the back line. Bartles there to get it. Thompson up for Luke again. Good touch, sent right back off of that, sent back across. Luke runs into Radical. And the Blackhawks hold on to a 2-point lead. Starlin in for Larson. And it'll be Miller back to serve. Thompson back up for Leduc. To the back line, that'll drop down. Leduc getting her first kill of the night. Bringing it back within 1. Starlin back to serve for the Lancers. Chance to bring it back even. That one's going to come up short and into the net. And that'll send number 5 for the Blackhawks back to serve. Rasmussen with a 2-point lead, 7-5. High off the hands of Leduc. Bartle sends one up, and Quaid will bump it over. Received high by Penny. Back up for Hattlestead. Tip it to the net. Bartle's right there to get it. Starland up for Leduc. Touches to the back line, just over her head. Tip back across, and it'll be tapped over to the back line. Radical there to get it. This one for Thompson. Good spot toward the middle. Diving save in the back. Send back up center, and it'll be tapped across by Hattlestead, but a double hit. Gurgling for Quaid as Gurgle heads back with a chance to tie. The counter back from Hattlestead. Back up for Hattlestead. Right to the hands of Radical. Back across for Bartles. Good touch on the run. Running save by Penny in the back. Gonna go far side. Knocking one down through the hands of Radical. Devine will enter in, and it'll be Devine who will head back to serve. To the back line, heads out of play. They get the Lancers back within 1. 8 again for Bartles. As Luke gets back to serve for the second time tonight. Had a couple of excellent runs a few days ago in their regional semifinal matchup. 8 straight, 7 straight, 6 straight. Looking to do something like that here and give them a lead. They're currently down 1. Just one offense, Luke off the ceiling. Thompson sends one back, and Koenig will tap it over, but a double hit. Miller back to serve. Currently up by 2. This one up for Radical. Out of play, untouched at the net. Puts the Blackhawks into double digits, up by 3. Received high by Leduc. Back across for Radical. That one will drop down, sending Miller backwards with the ball into the net. Brings the Lancers back within 2 as Larson enters in for Starland, and Thompson heads back to serve. Received high center. Back up center. It'll be tapped to the back. Luke right there to get it. Back up for Radical. Knocks one down off the hands of Miller. Back-to-back kills for Radical, and she has her Lancers back within 1, 10-9. Thompson back with a chance to serve for the tie. Into the net from Thompson, which will give the Blackhawks another 2-point lead. And it'll be Hattlestead now back to serve for the Blackhawks. High from Radical. Back up for Radical. Good touch over the block, sliding save. It's back to Lancer's side. Radical there to get it. Back for Radical again, and into the net. 3-point lead now for the Blackhawks. High from Radical, close second to get right back, set back down, Radical there to get it. Back set for Larson. Back up on the run for Miller, that'll drop down in front of Gurgle. And a timeout by the Lancers, 13-9, 4-point Blackhawk lead. Back to the timeout, 13-9, a 4-point lead for the Blackhawks. They will continue to serve with Haddleston back to do it. Radical right there to get it. Back up for Radical. Off the net and to the Blackhawks side out of play. That was another kill for Radical. Puts the Lancers into double digits within 3 now. Bartles and Quaid in for Gurgle and Koenig as Bartles heads back to serve. Another drop serve from the Lancers that goes right back to the Blackhawks, up by 4. Kenny Leonard in along with Haddlestead. And it'll be Penny, the libero, back to serve. High from Leduc. Thompson off the net. Will get it up for Quaid to the corner. Tipped up. Back up into play from Haddlestead. And just tipped over. Thompson right there. Across for Quaid. Bad angle. And wrong side of the foul pole. 15-10. Blackhawks back up by 5. Line drive from Radical to the net. Thompson can't save it off the net. Blackhawks take a lead by 6 on an ace. To the back, Radical sends it high. Back up for Radical. She'll knock one down through the hands of a diving Penny. And now Radical back to serve, down 5 here in the first set. The back line, drops down an ace. Her second of the night, which puts the Lancers back within 4. See the back by Haddlestead. For back row, it'll be Miller who will tap it over. Radical will dig it up in the back. Across for Leduc. She'll knock down! Under the hands of Haddlestead now. Lancers starting on a bit of a run here. Got 3 straight currently. As Radical tries to keep it going. They're within 3. Back to Lancers side. Sent back by Quaid. Blocked to the net. Leduc is there. Back up for Leduc. Back to back! This one off the hands of Haddlestead. Couple of kills for Leduc, and it's back to a 2-point game. Tipped off for Miller, miscommunication. Still gonna get it bumped over. Thompson up for Leduc again. Blocked along the net, back to the side. Quaid sends one back down, Miller's there. Back across far side. Radical will slide over to get it. Back up for Leduc. To the back line. Tipped out of play. Leduc another kill. That's 3 straight. Radical now with a chance to tie. Blackhawks want a timeout. Not going to get it. And now they will. 16-15, 1-point Blackhawk lead. Lancers on a nice little run. Looking to tie it up. We're back for the timeout. Strong run for the Lancers, led by Radical and Leduc. Radical chance to tie it up here with their serve, 16-15. Received high by Miller. Back across center to the back. Radical right there to get it. Thompson across for Leduc again. Blocked at the net. Rolls down to the Blackhawks side and out of play. We're tied at 16. Blackhawks had a 6-point lead. Now a 6-0 run for the Lancers has them back even. Radical a chance to give him a lead now. Lost one short. Lunging safe. Step back up to her. Radical blocks it into the net. Quaid tips it back up, but back into the net as the Blackhawks hold on to a 1-point lead. Starlin in for Larson. And it's Miller back to serve. Received high by Bartles. Back up for Leduc. Tipped high at the net. Sent back up close to the net. Leduc blocks it. Back, it'll send to the back corner. Bartles right there to get it. Lancers chance gets set. For Leduc again. Sliding save up the ceiling. Double hit. Tied at 17 once again as Leduc knocks down yet another kill. And Starlin heads back trying to give him a lead. Good spot, running save from Penny. Miscommunication, last second save. More miscommunication, that one dropping down. The Lancers get the lead back after going down by 6, 18 to 17. Starlin now trying to reinforce that lead. Heilstad gets in the back. Set back up for Heilstad, back row. Blocked it up by Thompson, but to the Lancers side. As they will tie it up now at 18. Starlin sets one back for Thompson. Good touch, running saved on the sideline. Close to the net, going to set it back off. It's center. Good touch. Thompson gets it back in the air. Bartles sends one high. And Quaid will bump it over. Back set. Bad angle. Has to fade away to get it. Tip back high from Quaid. Leduc back across for Quaid. This time their jump took a bad fall. She had that ankle wrap before the game. Seemed to be a bit of a trouble for her there as the Blackhawks go back up by 1. Radical back up. Bartles long way to go. Gonna get it over. Received by Miller. Back up far side for Hattlestead. Out of play, untouched. Ties it up at 19 as Gergel enters in for Quaid. She'll get some rest on that ankle. Still seems to be a little bit hobbled by it. As Gergel heads back to serve, chance at the 20s. Received center by Penny. Back row. To the back line. Radical on top, gets it back in the air. Tip back high for Bartles. Blocked to the net. Starlin there once again. Back up for Bartles again. Blocked to the net. Tip back high. Fading away, gonna get it over. Starlin back up for Thompson. Tip it to the net. Penny there to get it. Come back up on the run. Blocked at the net. Luke gets it back in the air. And Starlin can't get across. Blackhawks hit the 20s first, up by 1, 20 to 19. Devine will enter in and he'll head back to serve. Into the net. The Lancers tied up at 20. Haney in for Bartles. And it'll be Leduc back to serve. Leduc yet to go on a considerable run here tonight. Is this the time? Needs just 5 more, tied at 20. Sent back high. Up center for Hattlestead, blocked at the net. Thompson back into the net. And ends up dropping down after being touched a couple of times. 21-20, the Blackhawks back up by 1. With Miller back serving. Received high from Radical. Back up for Radical. Good touch, diving save back in the air. Bump back up and tapped over. Leduc there to get it. Back for Radical again. Another nice touch. Still saved and tapped over once again. Radical there again. Again for Radical. Takes a full swing. This one high off the ceiling. Redirected back in the air and tapped over again. Dumps it across. Another for Radical. Blocked at the net again. Radical tips into the back line. Running save in the back. Gonna go far side for Hattlestead. Finishes it off. And the Blackhawks go up by 2. Miller back to serve once again with a 2-point lead. Lofted to the back. Starlin is there. Thompson back up for Radical. Couldn't decide what to do. It ended up getting back in the air anyways. This one's tapped over by Miller. Line drive to Thompson. Back up for Radical again. That one gonna get down under the hands of Devine. Larson in for Starlin. As Thompson is back to serve. Chance to tie it up at 22. Good spot. Set back across, and it'll be tapped over. Radical right there to get it. Back up for Radical. Send right back to the Lancers side. Girl there to get it. Thompson back for Radical again. Knocks down another! Into the corner, and we're tied at 22. Back to back from Radical, and now Thompson back with a chance to give him a lead late. Tipped back across on the run. He's going to have to tap it over. No one there. Blackhawks out of position. Lancers have had a big chance. Ended up being dropped down to a spot where no Lancers were by Penny. And Harrelson back to serve with a 1-point lead. High from Gurgle. Luke sends one back. And Koenig will bump it over. Bit of miscommunication. They're going to get it set up center. Off the net. Onto the Lancers side. And the Blackhawks just 1 point away. Lancers will call timeout down to 24-22. Back to timeout, 24-22, 2-point Blackhawks lead. Have a chance to end the first set here with Hattelstead back serving to do it. High from Gurgle. Thompson up for Radical. Good touch, tip back high. And Radical in the net, and that'll end it. 25-22 in the first set. Blackhawks take a 1-0 lead. We'll be back in 3 minutes for the second set. And we are back to the second set. A one-set lead for the Blackhawks, as they took the first set 25-22. And it'll be Miller back to serve to start off the second. High off the hands of Leduc. Back across for Thompson. Tip to the net. Running save from Miller. Back up on the run for Hattelstead. Out of play, untouched. And the Lancers go up 1-0. And it'll be Leduc back to serve for the Lancers. Dug up in the back. From back high, far side. Tipped high from Radical. Back up for Radical. Good touch. Diving save by Miller. Tipped back high, far side for Hattelstead again. Fading away off the hands of Starland into the floor. Off out of the back, sliding save from Starland, and that'll go under the net. And ace for the Blackhawks has them up by 1. And Hattelstead will continue to serve. Short once again, dug up from Radical. Back up for Radical. Just going to tap one over. Easily handled by Rasmussen. Back up for Rasmussen, out of play. And they're going to get a touch on the side. We'll put them up by 2, 3-1. High from Leduc. Thompson across for Radical. That'll drop down into the hands of Hattelstead. It's the Lancers back within 1, 3-2. Larson in for Starland. And it's Thompson back to serve with a chance to tie. Line drive back to the floor, tip back high. It'll be tapped over by Rasmussen. Miscommunication from Larson and Thompson. As the Blackhawks go up by 2. Penny back to serve with a 2-point lead. Dug up from Radical. Back up for Radical. Gets him to go under the sideline as she brings it back within 1. Bartles and Quaid in for Koenig and Gurgle as Bartles heads back to serve. Tip back high, close to that, gonna tap one across. Tipped to the net by Quaid. Bartles there to get it. Up for Radical again. Blocked to that, tip back high. Bartles retreating, gets back in the air. Radical gonna get it over on a dive. Set to the back corner, Bartles is there. Radical, can she finish it? High off the net, close to the ceiling, won't touch. Back across, we tapped over from Hattelstead to the corner. And the Blackhawks go up by 2. Back to serve for the Blackhawks. Up for Radical. High to the ceiling, bounces around, getting it back up, and he'll tap it over. Leduc there to get it. Up for Radical again. That'll drop down off the hands of Penny. Brings it back to a 1-point game as Radical is back once again. Into the net. As the Lancers go down by 2. Starland in for Larson. And it's Rasmussen back to serve. Off the net, it'll drop down for an ace. Brings the Blackhawks up by 3. High off the hands of Starland. Back up for Leduc. Blocked at the net and drops down in the back. No Lancer back to cover as the Blackhawks double them up by 4, 8-4. by Rasmussen, as number 5 puts them up by 5. Looking for double digits here. High from Starland. Thompson back up for Leduc. Tipped out of play off the hands of Penny. Leduc will get the kill and breaks the run to get the Lancers back within 4. Off from short. Hal stood there to get it. Back up for her. Off the net. Tip tie from Starland. All the way across for Leduc. Line drive back to net. Redirected back up center to the back line. Running safe from Bartles. That'll find its way back. Going to send a set to the back line, and that'll be a double hit on the Blackhawks. Brings the Lancers now within 3. Off the net, not enough to bounce over. As the Blackhawks hit double digits up by 4. Devine back to serve, off the net, tip tie from Starland. Quay back across for Leduc. Skimming off the net, and it'll drop down under the hands of a diving Devine. Gets it back to the Lancers within 3 as Gurgel enters in to serve. Good spot, dug up, tip back up center for Hattlestead. Right to the hands of Gurgel. Back up for Leduc. Bad angle, just have to bump it over. Receive tie in the back. Backs that close to the net. Gonna get it over, diving save back into the net from Leduc. A 7, a 4-point lead for the Blackhawks as Miller heads back to serve. High from Gurgel. Back up for Bartles. High off the net, lunging safe. Step to the back corner. And another double hit on the Blackhawks. Schaller in for Bartles. Leduc back to serve. Tip tie. Bad angle, gonna get it over right to the hands of Leduc. Back up for Radical. To the hands of Hattlestead under the sideline as the Lancers back within 2. Good spot for Leduc, dug up by Miller. Tip back up center. High from Radical. Back up for Radical. Off the net, tip back high by Miller. Back up center once again. It's going to tap over the block. Sterling there to get it. Back up for Radical again. Set to the back line. Line drive back toward the net. Tip back high. Miller on a standstill into the net. Leads us into double digits within 1. Leduc back once again with a chance to tie. Right to the hands of Devine. Tip back high. Not a standstill. We'll tap it on the net line. Not enough. Rolls back to the Blackhawks side. And we're tied at 11. Timeout by the Blackhawks. Leduc still serving for the Lancers. Let's let him a nice little run here. She's brought him back even at 11. Can she give him the lead? Tip back high, close to net. Step back across, they'll tap it down that line, onto the sideline. Beautiful spot from Adelstead. She gives them a 1-point lead, 11-12. And it'll be number 1 Adelstead, who will head back to serve. High from Starland. Back across for Radical. Good spot, that'll drop down. Right to the sideline along the net line. Ties us up at 12. Thompson back to serve now for the Lancers, trying to give him that lead. Retreating save by Adelstead. Back set. Blocked to the net by Schaller. Gives the Lancers a 1-point lead. Lancers trailed by 6 in the first set, came back to bring it close at the end, ended up losing the first set, down 4 in this one, and they've retaken a lead once again by 1. Good spot from Thompson, up and out of play, an ace for Thompson, as the Lancers up by 2. Save. Sends them back up into play on the run. Just going to tap it over. Larson will dig it up. Back across for Radical. Off the net. Scheller there. Thompson back up for Radical again. Good touch. Tip back high by Miller. Set up center. Out of play on the back line. 15-12. Under the bleachers. And we're gonna get a new one. Now we have 2. We're gonna use the old one. And Thompson will now serve it as the Lancers lead it by 3. And an ace! Why not? Off the hands of Severid. 16-12, a 4-point lead for the Lancers as number 4 Thompson serves up her second ace. High from Miller. Back across far side. Going loft it over is Rasmussen. Back across for Radical again. Another one! Onto the back line! As the Lancers up by 5! Thompson trying to keep the run going. A 10-1 run. Miller line drive to the net, redirected back high for Rasmussen. High from Radical. Luke back up in the air, long way to go for Gurgle. She'll make it over. Tip back up on the run for Rasmussen again. Tip to the net. Luke sends a line side to the floor. And the run ends, which has the Blackhawks down 4. Penny back in along with Adelstead as Penny heads back to serve. Received high from Radical. Thompson back up for Radical. Opposite hand, tip tie from Rasmussen. Back up in the air for her, and into the net. Right back to the Lancers up by 5. Bartles and Quaid in for Gurgle and Schaller as Bartles heads back to serve. Retreating is Adelstead. Back up for Rasmussen out of play. Untouched. And the Lancers go up by 6. Tip tied by Rasmussen. Tip back high, and it'll be tapped over by Penny. Quaid on the dive. Tip back high, close to the nets. Quaid trying to tap it back over. It ends up just rolling down onto the Lancers side. As the Lancers back within 5. As Adelstead heads back to serve. Bartle steps up to get it. Tip back up for Radical. Good touch down the sideline. Tip back high, close to the net. Back across Rasmussen. Along the net, but out of play. Just a tad on it. And the Lancers back up by 6. Miller will tie her shoe. And Radical will head back to serve. Needs just 5 more with a 6-point lead. Tip back high, running save from Miller, and it'll be tapped into the net by Adelstead. 21-14, a 7-point Lancer lead. Blackhawks call their final timeout. Lancers on a run, need just 4 more. Back to the timeout, 21-14, a 7-point Lancer lead. As Radical continues to serve, needs just 4 more. Often a tad shorter, dug up by Hadelstead, back up for her. High from Bartles, off the ceiling. Thompson readjusts for Leduc. Right to the hands of Hadelstead. Set up center for Hadelstead, it'll taps one over. Larson and Thompson miscommunication. Larson hesitated, ended up just almost catching it. As Starlin will let her in for her. And it'll be Rasmussen back to serve. High from Radical. Thompson sets him back high for Starlin. Received clearly by Miller. Back up center for Hadelstead. Good touch off the net. Diving save from Starlin. Tip back high. Radical from back row. Diving attempt to the back by Rasmussen. Back to Hadelstead again. Bartles up and out of play. And the Blackhawks within 5. Off the hands of Bartles, tip back by Radical, Quaid up and over, just off the ceiling. Blackhawks now within 4. Dug up from Starlin. Thompson across for Leduc. High to the back, off ceiling won't touch. Back up, bad angle. Tried to spin and spike it. That was Miller, who ended up sending it into the middle of the net. 22-17, Lancers up 5. With Starlin back serving. Into the net, gives it right back to the Blackhawks. Devine back to serve. High from Radical. Back up for Leduc. Running save, close to the ceiling, won't touch. Back up, far side, blocked to the net, tip back high, close to the net. Tap back over, Quaid is there. Send it right back down by Severid. (22-19), they're back within 3, chance to hit the 20s. High from Radical. Back up for Leduc. Lunging save from Rasmussen. Back up for Rasmussen. Tip the net, Radical right there to get it. Back up for Leduc again. Lunging save from Rasmussen. Tip back high. On a standstill over the net. Bartles there to get it. Back set for Quaid. Good spot, diving save. Tip back in the air by Miller. And back over. Radical there to get it. Starlin fading away in the net. 22-20. Blackhawks within 2. And a timeout by the Lancers. back from the timeout. 22-20 Lance at a large lead. Blackhawks coming back close toward the end. Still got work to do down the stretch with Withee serving. High from Radical, close to the net. Sent back down, stolen off the net. Quaid back up, and Radical will send it over. Back up far side. High off hands of Radical. Quaid sends the line right back. Thompson will tap it over. Running save from Withee. Back up center. To the back line. Radical there once again. Up for Leduc. Back to Lancer's side. Tip back up and over. Starlin there. Quaid across for Leduc again. Lunging save by Hattelstead. Back set. Fading away. Blocked at the net. Tip back high. Back across for Hattelstead to the back line. Radical there once again. Sent back down. Tip. And on to the sideline. Blackhawks within one. Withee now with a chance to tie. High from Radical. Close to ceiling, won't touch. Back up for Leduc. She'll knock one down. Big kill from Leduc. To bring the Lancers back within two. And it'll be Kurgel who will enter in to head back to serve. Needs just two to keep this one in the Lancers' favor. Close to the net. Back up center. Gonna tap it over Luke there to get it. Back up for Leduc. Tip of the net. Back set. Tipped on the run. And he'll tap it over. Radical gets it back in the air. Bartles back across. Stolen from the floor. We'll get it over. Back up far side. Tipped at the net. That'll drop down. And the Blackhawks get it right back. Miller back with a chance to tie it up. High from Gurgle. Back up for Bartles. To the corner, tipped high, close to the ceiling, won't touch. Back up for Hattelstead. Good touch, Bartles there to get it. Starlin back for Thompson. Tipped at the net. Miller there to get it, sets one up center. High off the hands of Radical. Back up for Bartles. Down the line, lines are back to the net, tipped back high. And can't be tapped over with her opposite hand. Good effort from Hattelstead, but just not enough. Lancers need just one more, 24-22. Schaller in for Bartles, and it's the senior triangle trying to do it. Diving save, set back, blocked into the net from Schaller. 24-23 to Blackhawks, a chance to tie it up and send it into extra points. Hattelstead back to do it. Dug up from Radical. Line drive under the net. We're tied at 24. Hattelstead now with a chance to give him a lead. High from Starland. Across for Radical. High and out of play. Big kill from Radical to bring him just 1 point away once again. Larson in for Starland, and it's Thompson back to do it. Down the sideline, tip back high, gonna go far side. Gonna have to tap it over, Thompson right there. Tipped right back, Larson gets it back in the air. Thompson back across for Radical. Out of play, untouched. And we're back tied at 25 as now Penny enters in. Ball throws short. Leduc on the run gets back in there. Tip back high from Thompson for Radical. Out of nowhere, tip back high by Penny. Back across Rasmussen. Blocked out of play. And the Blackhawks now have a chance to end it. Timeout by the Lancers, 1 point Blackhawk lead, 26-25. An amazing comeback for the Blackhawks. They have a chance to finish it off here and take a 2-set lead. It's Penny back to do it. To the back, Gergel sends one high, close to the net. Thompson tips one back up for Radical, opposite hand, off the pole! Blackhawks complete it and take a 2-point set win and a 2-set lead. 27-25. Blackhawks a chance to end it in the next set in about 3 minutes. For what could be the final set of the day. 2-0 set lead for the Blackhawks as they won the first one 25-22. The second one in a comeback thriller 27-25. Lancers trying to keep this one going and keep their hopes alive here in the regional final as Leduc will start off the serving. Tip back high by Hattlestead. Back up for Hattlestead. Skimming along that tip tie from Starland. Back across for Radicola. Blocked from the net. Leduc right there to get it. Tip back over from Thompson. Just out of play. Right idea from Thompson. Just a tad off on that sideline. As now Miller heads back to serve with a 1-point lead. High off the hands of Leduc. Back across for Radicola. High from Miller off the ceiling. Handled by Devine and sent over by Hattlestead. Blocked that by Schaller. Tip back high by Schaller. Thompson up and over. Diving safe. Step back close to the net. Schaller there to greet her. And Blackhawks in the net as this one ties up at 1. Larson in for Starland. And it'll be Thompson back to serve. Sliding save in the back. Back set for Hattlestead. Onto the back line. Good spot to bring them up by 1. Hattlestead back with a 1-point lead. 2-1 to the back line. Tip tie from Leduc. Thompson bumps one back high for Radicals. Stepping over to get it. To the hands of Rasmussen. Back up for Rasmussen again. Gurgle there to get it. Back for Radical. Down the line. Redirected back to opposite line. Tip tie from Rasmussen. And tapped over from Miller. Running save. Chance to get set. Up for Radical. Out of play on the back line. And it's touched. Gonna get the call. As they tie it up now at 2. Bartles and Quaid in for Schaller and Gurgle. As Bartles heads back to serve. Into the net. Gonna go back to the Blackhawks. And it'll be Penny back to serve with a 1-point lead. The back line, heads out of play. Teams trade drop serves, and we're tied at 3. Radical back to serve for the Lancers. To the corner, dropping it down. Another perfect spot from Radical. Gives her yet another ace and has the Lancers up by 1. High to the ceiling. Just takes a nick of it. Back up for Miller on a standstill. Dug up from Radical. Thompson back up for Quaid. Tip to the net, sent back high. Over the net, dug up from Radical. Tip back high by Quaid. Thompson on a standstill. Tip to the net and right back down onto the Blackhawks side. Send across from Miller. Back up for Haslett on a standstill. Sliding save from Radical. Back up for Leduc on the run. Right to the hands of Penny as that one sent back from Quaid. Just a tad far on the sideline. Starland in for Larson. And it'll be Miller back to serve. Running save from Radical. Back to the Blackhawks side. Tipped up and out of play as they tie it up now at 5. Right to the hands of Radical. Back up for Leduc. Lunging save in the back from Hattlestead. Back across Rasmussen. Off the hands of Radical and out of play. Good kill for Rasmussen to put him up by 1. Miller back to serve. Lunging save from Bartles. Back up for Leduc. Right to the hands of Penny. Back up far side. Into the net. And we're now tied at 6. Start with the serve down the line. Tip back high. Going to go near side for Rasmussen. Sliding save from Radical. Back up for Leduc. Tip to the net and dug up by Hattlestead. Back up center. Trying to touch it down the net line. Ends up sending it into the net. It could have been a lift or just onto the Blackhawks side. As the Lancers back up by 1, 7-6. Good spot. That'll drop down off the hands of Miller for a Starland ace. High from Penny, all the way across for Miller. Good touch. Starland can't make it there in time. As the Blackhawks bring it back within one. Rasmussen back serving, tip tie from Leduc. Radical back up for Leduc. To the back line. One hand gets back in the air, diving save, redirected down the net line. Up for Leduc again. Blocked at the net. Starlin there to get it. Thompson back up for Leduc again. That one will drop down under the hand of a diving Penny. Gerlin to serve with a chance to hit double digits. Sent up high. Back set for Hattlestead. Diving save. Line drive out of play. As Starlin took a dive at it. No one there to receive it as the Blackhawks get it back within one. 9-8. And Devine enters in. And it's Devine back to serve with a chance to tie. Line drive to the floor. An ace for Devine has us tied at 9. This one into the net. Keeps the Lancers up by one into double digits. Schaller enters in, and it'll be Leduc back to serve. Up off the hands, out of play. Miller on the slide, can't get there in time. And an ace for Leduc has the Lancers up by 2. Good spot, sliding save, tipped right back from Radical. That'll drop down. Moves it up around the block to bring the Lancers up by 3. Back up down the line, tip back high from Radical. Charlotte will bump it over, running safe close to that. Radical back down with authority. Puts the Lancers up by 4. And a timeout by the Blackhawks. Back to timeout, 13-9, a 4-point Lancer lead as Luke continues to serve in a nice little run here for the Lancers. Trying to give them some hope, down 2-9. Back up center for Hattlestead, tip of the net, plunging save from Kurgel. Schaller back high for Radical on a standstill. The same clear by Hattlestead, back up for Hattlestead, blocked at the net, tip dive from Thompson. Back up for Radical, blocked at the net, Schaller gets it back in the air but out of play. So they push the Blackhawks into double digits within 3. Miller back serving, heads out of play. Give it right back to the Lancers. Larson in for Starlin. And it's Thompson back to serve. Sliding save from Miller. Tip back up center. No one there on the back line as Schaller was left out to dry at the net. 14-11, a 3-point lead. And it's Handelson back, trying to get him on a little bit of a run here. Dug up by Gurgle, sent back across from Thompson for Schaller. High center from Adelstead. Down the line, tipped high from Radical. Back up, it'll be Radical from the floor, who will bump it over. Back up far side for Rasmussen. And Lynch is in the net. Brings them back within 2 now. Off one short, tip back high from Thompson. Radical blocked at the net by Miller. Brings the Blackhawks now within 1. High from Gurgle. Back up for Radical. Good touch, diving save, up and out of play. As the Lancers hold on to a 2-point lead. Bartles and Quaid are in with Bartles heading back to serve. Trying to grow the Lancer lead once again. Down the sideline, tip back high. Back up close to ceiling, 1 touch. Rasmussen will just tap it over. Back across for Radical. Tipped high from Rasmussen. Back up for her. Now miscommunication has Adelstead tipping it over. Up for Radical again. Someone's in the net, and it's the Blackhawks. 16-13 Lancers back up by 3. Good spot, line drive, that'll drop down. An ace for Bartles. Lancers now up 4. Line drive, this one tipped back high and gonna be bumped over. Luke there to get it. Back up for Radical. Knocks one down onto the sideline. 18-13 in the timeout by the Blackhawks. Back for the timeout. 5-point Lancer lead, 18-13 as they look to push this one into a 4th set. They'll be Bartles back serving for the Lancers. Received high from Miller. Back up for Rasmussen. Tip to net, off the hands of Bartles, out of play. And they bring it back now within 4. Back to serve for the Blackhawks. Received high from Bartles. Thompson back up for Radical. Good touch. Diving save from Miller. Sent to the back by Rasmussen. One-handed save will tip it up for Quaid. Back corner up and out of play. Off the hands of Penny. Lancers right back up by 5 as Radical heads back to serve. Drops out an ace off the hands of a sliding Miller. Lancers into the 20s up by 6. Tip back high, sent up from Miller to Rasmussen, blocked by Quaid. Lancers now up by 7. Back by Adelstead. Back up for Rasmussen along the net. Tipped out of play by Ledoux. And the Blackhawks now within 6. Solid enters in as Miller heads back to serve. Lancers had this lead last set before a strong coming from the Blackhawks to win it in extra points. They'll look to do that again and end this one in 3 sets. Lancers trying to hold on to their strong lead. Back across for Luke. High to the ceiling. Jump back down. Lancers now up 7. Starling back to serve. Lancers just need 3 more. Running safe in the back. And tap, but blocked by Thompson! Trying to just tap it over. Thompson sent it right back. And we're 2 points away. Received by Halstead. Back set for Rasmussen. Tip to the net. Thompson there to get it. Quaid bumps it back for the Duke. Bad angle. Gonna get it over. Miscommunication will collide. Still gonna get it back in the air. This one across Rasmussen. Good touch. Tip back high from Starland. Bartles back up for Quaid. So just tap it over. Good spot. Diving save. Tip back high. Fading away. Gonna get it over. Clean set for Leduc. Tip it to net. Lunging save from Rasmussen. That'll drop down as the Blackhawks collide. 24-15. Lancers 1 point away, up by 9. Good spot, dug up on the back. Back set for Rasmussen. Tip tie from Radical. Bump back up. Quaid can't get it back in the air. And the Blackhawks will keep themselves alive, needing 8 straight. And it'll be Rasmussen back to do it. High from Starland. Thompson back across for Leduc. Tip to the net. Penny is there. Back up far side. Offense of Radical out of play. And the game will continue. High from Bartles. Up for Leduc. Tip with the net, running save from Penny. Back up for Adelstead. High from Radical. Leduc again. Along the net, dropping it down! 25-17! Lancers force a 4th in 3 minutes. are back for the fourth set. Lancers dropping the first two, 25-22 and 27-25. Taking the last one, 25-18. As they will try to force a fifth and final set to keep their season alive. Starting off the serving will be Miller. To the back line, Starlin there. Thompson back up for Leduc. Lunging save in the back by Devine. Back up for Adelstead. Blocked out of play! And the Blackhawks go up 1-0. To the back, Starlin is there. Back set for Leduc. To the end, and it'll drop down. The Lancers tied up at 1. Leduc back to serve for the Lancers. High from Miller. Set center. Dropping it down. Onto the sideline is Severid. Adelstead back to serve for the Blackhawks. Down the line. Dropping it down. As the Blackhawks go up by 2. High from Radical. Back up for Radical. Tip it to net. Blunder back towards the net, tip back high, and it'll be tapped to the back corner. Luke there to get it. Thompson, good fake over the net. Handle cleanly by Rasmussen. Back up for Rasmussen. Received by Leduc. Redirected across for Radical. Out of play, untouched. And the Blackhawks go up 3. Lofted short, received from Starling. Good fake from Thompson over the net. Set up for Rasmussen, and it'll drop down another. 5-1, the Blackhawks go up by 4 in an early timeout from the Lancers. Back to the timeout, 4-point lead for the Blackhawks, 5-1. As Adelstead will continue to serve. Dug up from Radical. Back up for Radical. She'll knock one down through the block of Miller and Severid. Puts the Lancers now within 3. Thompson back to serve. Back high. Gonna go far for Rasmussen. Down the line. Luke can't get there in time. And the Blackhawks get it right back up by 4. Adelstead airs in. And Penny heads back to serve. Dug up from Gurgle. High for Radical. Tipped to the net. Received cleanly in the back. Gonna go far side for Rasmussen, tip tied, Thompson there. Larson back across for Radical. Has to go backhand and can't get it over. 7-2 as Penny continues to serve. Down the sideline, Radical there to get it. Back up for Radical. Off the shoulder and out of play of Miller. Bartles and Quaid enter in, and it's Bartles back to serve. Tipped up by Hattlested, sent back high off the ceiling. Long way to go, gonna make it there. Back up for Radical. Tip with the net, diving save, boat back high. Hang over once again by Rasmussen. Bartles back up in the air, off the ceiling. Quaid not gonna get it high enough. (8-3), the Blackhawks up 5. And it's Miller back serving. Dug up from Leduc. Back up for Radical. Under the sideline. And Lancers now within 4. With Radical serving. Off the net, tip back high. Gonna go back, set to Rasmussen. High from Radical. Bartles back in the air. And Thompson will bump it over. Running save for Miller. Back across Rasmussen off the net, dropping it down. And the Blackhawks up by 5 once again. High from Bartles. Close to ceiling, one touch. Gonna set one back for Leduc. Block the net, Radical right there. Back set for Larson. Tip back high, close to the net. Bumped off, and it'll be Hallison who will send it over. Back again, close side for Leduc. That'll drop down. Rasmussen couldn't get down fast enough. As the Lancers get it back within 4. Starlin enters in and will head back to serve. Right to Hattlestead. Back for Hattlestead. Blocked with the net. High from Miller. Hattlestead again. Blocked again. Into the net. Thompson and Quaid. Keeping the Lancers now up within 3. Lost one short. Hattlestead there to get it. They're going to go back to her again. This one going to be just touched and drops down under the blue line. In along with Devine as Devine heads back to serve. Into the net. Gonna go right back to the Lancers within 3. Gurgle in for Quaid. And it's Gurgle back to serve. Retreating is Devine. Bump back high, center for Halstead. Dropping it down under the hands of a sliding Gurgle. And now Miller back with a 4-point lead. Down the sideline, Leduc there going to get all the way back across. Sets one center, right to the hands of Gurgle. Thompson on the run, bumps him back close to the net. Gurgle can't make it, or Leduc can't make it there in time. As the Blackhawks go up 5. Received by Radical. Back set for Leduc. Off the hands of the block. Tip back up close to the net. In the net. And the Lancers back within 4. Scholar enters in. And it's Luke back to serve. Miscommunication will collide. So gets back up the handle. Should be tapped over. Thompson there to get it. Radical in the second, blocked at the net. Tipped high for Thompson. Back for Radical. Good touch, tip back high. Scheller there to get it. Back for Thompson. Thompson back for Radical. Knocks one down. Off the hands of Miller. Brings the Lancers back within 3 with a chance for double digits. Received cleanly by Miller. Set center. Tipped the net. Can't be saved by a diving Starland. As the Blackhawks get it back within 4. with Halstead back to do it. To the corner, tipped high for Luke off the ceiling. Thompson right there to get it. Up for Radical. Sent right back. Starlin's there. Radical again. Down the net line. Sent right back. It'll tip up center and just tap it to the back. Radical there to get it. Up for Radical again. Off the block. Tipped high and redirected back over. Radical there. Bumped back for Thompson. She'll just bump it to the back line. Miller right there to get it. Up center. Off the block into the floor. Blackhawks back up by 5. Into the net. Lancers hit double digits now, within 4. Larson enters in as Thompson heads back to serve. Down the sideline, sent high from Hattlestead. Back up for Rasmussen, good touch. Thompson right there to get it. Larson up for Radical. Blocked at the net, Radical right there. Sends one back for Larson to the back line. Redirected back close to the net. It'll be tapped over by Miller. Luke there to get it. Back up cleanly for Radical. Sliding save, sent back. On a standstill over the nets. Back up for Radical again. Gonna bump one over the block. Miller steps up to get it. Back up center. High from Thompson. Larson back up for Schaller. Good touch. Sent back high. And Miller sends it across to Rasmussen. Blackhawks. Double hit. Thompson back to serve within 3. Lines right back into the net, saved off the net, and tapped to the corner. Luke there to get it. Thompson sends one back for Schaller. She'll bump it to the back line. Back up for Rasmussen. Blocked at the net by Schaller. Lancers back within 2, 14-12. Timeout by the Blackhawks. Lancers trying to make a comeback here in the 4th set. Back to the timeout, 14-12. Lancers trying to make a comeback with Thompson still serving. To the back line, tipped high. Back up center for Rasmussen. Onto the back line.
I think somebody go back.
And the Blackhawks back up by 3. Penny back to serve. Received high from Gurgle close to the net. Thompson tips one back. Radical will send it over. On a standstill to the back corner. Luke runs over to get it. Back up high for Radical. Off for Hayes and into the stands. 15-13. Heinzer's right back within 2. Bartles and Quaid in for Schaller and Gurgle as Bartles heads back to serve. Bump back up for Miller. Blocked at the net. They're going to say untouched. And Lancers now within 1. Bartles a chance to tie. Good spot. Bump back up close to the net. Blocked by Quaid. Punched back high. This one going to get tapped over, but out of play. Untouched by the Lancers, and we're tied at 15. Bartles brought him even now. Can she give him a lead? Dug up center from Adelstead. Back up center for Rasmussen. Bartles the line drive, gets back over. Dug up on the side. Stands still to the back corner. Bartles there to get it. Thompson up for Radical. Along the nets. Out of play, untouched. (16-15) Blackhawks back up by 1 with Miller serving. High from Gurgle. Close to the net. Thompson tips one back for Quaid off the nets. That'll drop down. As Quaid brings them back even with a kill. And now Radical back to serve. Back up on the side by Miller. Back up for Miller. Taps one over. Thompson right there to get it. Up high for Luke. Right to the hands of Rasmussen. Back for Rasmussen. Blocked to the Lancer side. And the Blackhawks back up by 1. Starland in for Larson as Rasmussen heads back to serve. Dug up from Radical. Back up for Leduc. Line drive, redirected back into the net. And we're tied at 17. Starland to serve for the Lancers. High from Adelstead. Back for Adelstead. Tip at the net. Bartles one hand. Tipping up from Quaid. That'll be a lift. So Reed and Devine in with Devine heading back to serve. Had some good serves today, however, also hit a few into the net. Let's see what we get here as they lead it by 1. To the back line, out of play. And we're tied at 18. Gurgle in for Quaid as Gurgle heads back to serve. High from Devine. Back up on the side to the back line to die from Gurgle. Back across for Bartles. Cross court. Rasmussen gets a hand on it off into the nets. And the Lancers go up by 1. Timeout by the Blackhawks. Lancers with a 1-point lead, 19-18. Back in the timeout. Lancers trying to force a 5th set after dropping the first 2. Won the last one. Have a 1-point lead here. 19-18 with Gurgle serving, looking for the 20s. Dug up and gets set right back up for Heidelstead. Under the hands of Gurgle as the Blackhawks get it back tied at 19. Miller back to serve. High off the hands of Starland. Back set for Leduc. Off her shoulder. Retreating into someone back up, back row. Down the line, Leduc is there. Back up for Leduc. Diving save to the floor. Rasmussen can't get it back in the air. Lancers into the 20s up by 1. Schaller in for Bartles. This is what the Lancers have wanted to be all year. Their senior triangle with Leduc back serving. Thompson and Radical in front row. Miller back in the air. Set back on the run. Off that block. And to the floor. Blackhawks get it right back. Tied at 20. To the back corner, dug up from Gurgle. Thompson across for Radical. Off the net, tipped back across. Tapped up close enough for Rasmussen, and off the block, and out of play. 1 point Blackhawk lead, 21-20. Again from Hattlestead, dug up from Starlin. Back up for Radical. Back end along the net line. Jumping save, gonna set one back up, send it for Rasmussen. Good touch, tipped back up by Thompson. Back across for Schaller and into the net. 22-20. And all answers call timeout. Down 2 here in the fourth set. – 22-20, a 2-point lead for the Blackhawks as they look to end this one in 4 sets, currently with a 2-1 set lead. And a 2-point lead here in the fourth. To the back line, lets it go! And the Lancers back within 1. Larson in for Starland. And it's Thompson back to serve with a chance to tie it up. High from Hattlestead. Back across Rasmussen. Dropping it down! Onto the free throw line, which gives the Blackhawks a 2-point lead. 23-21. And it's Penny back to serve. High from Radical. Back up for Radical. Off the block into the floor. Radical gives it right back to the Lancers within 1. Bartles and Quaid enter in, and Bartles has back to serve. A chance to tie it at 23. To the back corner. Tipped high off the ceiling. Sent back up, long way to go. Gonna make it over. Quaid is there. Lancer chance gets set for Radical. Off the block, tipped high from Hattlestead. Back up for Rasmussen. Tipped high from Radical. For Radical again. Good touch, diving save into the net. Off the net to the floor. We're tied at 23. Huge serve coming here. Winner will have a chance to serve for the set. Tied at 23. Bartles to do it. Tipped high from Miller. Back up on the run. She's going to have to tap it over. Quaid there to get it. Thompson for Radical. Off the block. Diving save. Going to keep it in the air. Rasmussen again. Good touch. Tipped back over by Larson. Rasmussen again. Blocked at the net once again. Off the ceiling. Penny tips it back high. And going to get it over. Radical there. For Radical again. You know it. 24-23. Lance has a chance to force a 5th set. Bartles back to do it. To the corner, out of play! An ace for Bartles! What a comeback! 2 in a row! A 5th set for the regional final in 3 minutes! A fifth set. Lancers lost the first two. They won the last two. Who can stay strong? Who can finish it off? It's Luke to start the serving for the regional final. First of 15 will take it home. Luke to start us off. Tipped high from Miller. Back up center. Tipped over in the nets are the Lancers. 1-0 lead for the Blackhawks as Miller heads back to serve. High from Leduc. Thompson gonna tap one over onto the sideline. Good spot from Thompson to bring us back even at 1. Larson in for Starland as Thompson heads back to serve. Down the sideline, tipped high from Miller. Back up center. Good spot, diving save, tip back up from Thompson. Luke, long way to go. Gonna make it. Right back at him, Luke there. Thompson up for Radical. Another one! Onto the sideline as Radical brings him up by 1. Thompson back with a 1-point lead. Right at Miller once again. Set back center. Good touch of the net. Thompson right there to get it. Larson gonna tap one over. Good spot, diving save. Set back up on a standstill. Radical there to get it. Thompson pumps one high for Radical. Another one! Off the hands of Miller! 3-1 Lancer lead! Back to back from Radical! Timeout by the Blackhawks here in the 5th set. Back to the timeout, 3-1. Lancers a strong start. Blackhawks trying to calm themselves down. Long way to go in this set as Thompson continues to serve. Sliding save from Miller. Back up center. Good touch. Radical in a dive. Back up from Gurgle to Larson. And she'll touch it over the net. Back up for Rasmussen. Tip back high. Larson sends it across for Radical. Fading away. Good spot! 3 in a row for Radical! Lancers up 4-1. Thompson trying to keep it going. Back to the Lancers side, Larson there. Thompson back up for Radical. 4 in a row! Into the corner! Radical putting the team on her back, trying to make sure this game isn't her last. 5-1 as Thompson continues to serve. To the floor! And ace for Thompson! 5-point Lancer lead! Can they keep the run going? Up. Stay back up in the air. Long way to go. Gonna make it. Up for guess who? Radical. Another one! Off the hands of Miller! Radical insane! 6-point Lancer lead! He's an alien! Thompson again trying to stay calm with a 6-point lead. Received by Miller. Back up center. Good touch. Offensive Larson out of play. Blackhawks on the run. Still down 5-7-2. Can they go on a run of their own? It's Hattelstad back to do it. Offensive right off the ceiling. Drops back down. Big ace for Hattelstad to get him back within 4. Dug up from Gurgle. Back up for Radical. Blocked the net. Chola right there to get it. Again for Radical. Good touch. Back up. And out of play. 8-3 Lancers up by 5. Bartles and Quaid in. Bartles back to serve. Lancers more than halfway to 15. Sent back high. All the way across Rasmussen. Tipped to the net. Back up from Radical. Radical has to get it over and will. Back up center. Good touch. Tip time from Thompson. Out of play. Severeid gets the kill. And they're back within 4. Penny back to serve. Good spot. Radical can't get underneath. Another ace for the Blackhawks. And they're within 3. High from Radical. Back up for Radical. Hammers it down. Coming from the back. And putting the Lancers up by 4. Radical has put this team on her shoulders, especially in this last set. 4-point lead, and is now back to serve. Sent back close to the net. Redirected back up. Rasmussen sends it over. Perfect spots in between Larson and Bartles. Quaid in for Larson as Miller heads back to serve. To the hands of Bartles. Thompson back across for Leduc. She'll knock one down. First kill of the 5th. Sends him into double digits. Up by 4. And now Starlin back to serve. Number 5 needs just 5 more. Receive tie center. Set back up far side. Into the net. 5-point Lancer lead. Final timeout by the Blackhawks. Lancers need just 4 more. Back for the timeout, 11-6, 5-point Lancer lead. They need just 4 more to complete the comeback after dropping the first 2. Back to Lancer side, Luke right back to the floor. Luke, what a play! Doubles them up, 12-6, and they're now just 3 points away. Good spot, diving save, back up in the air. Over from Hattelstad. Radical back up close to the net. Thompson across for Leduc. Another one! Back to back from Leduc! 13-6, and they're 2 points away! Good spot from Starlin, lunging save. Set back up far side. To the back line, Radical there. Thompson all the way across for Leduc. Tip tie. Handled in the back by Hattelstad. Back for Rasmussen. Good touch. Bartles is there. Luke will just bump it over. Running save in the back. Up far side. Off of Radical. Back up for Leduc. She'll bump it over. Back set. Miller. Tip tie from Thompson. Quick back up for Leduc. She'll bump it to the back line. Close to the net. Back up far side for Rasmussen. Out of play. And untouched. 14-6. Lancers just 1 point away. Down 2 sets.
came back and brought it even, have dominated the 5th set. 14-6, 8-point lead. Diving save to the back. Back set. Tip dive from Radical. Back up, Luke bad angle. Not gonna get it over. 14-7, Blackhawks need 7 straight to keep it going. Took the first set by 2, took the second set by 2, lost the third by 7, took the fourth by 2 as well. High from Gurgle, that'll find its way back over. Back up far side for Adelstad. Up and out of play! They win! The Lancers are gonna win! It's a Christmas miracle! A Christmas miracle! Down 2 sets! To win it in 5! 25-22, 27-25, 25-18, 25-23, and 25-7! Lancers are regional final champions and are moving on to sectionals for the 2nd year in a row. 5 sets, beautiful comeback. They will head on to play either Newman or Athens. If it's Newman, it's at Newman. Athens is here. Lancers are regional champions once again. 5-set thriller, 2-set comeback. Lancers win it in 5. Stay tuned for the trophy presentation to the Lancers.
Match tonight. Thank you, Owen-Withee, for a tremendous battle. That was a lot of fun.